you're showing how much you don't like your life. It really isn't a reflection of how evil and how much you want to hurt other people. For most people, for the majority, they're doing it because they're dissatisfied with their life. And the way they deal with the pain and suffering is by trying to hurt others. That's a simple rule of psychology. So if you're with somebody who's constantly putting people down, it's a good chance they don't feel that good about their life. They don't like their life, whatever that life may be. And the reason I bring the point up is because in this world, there's a lot of hurt. Not only people feeling pain, but people inflicting pain on others, inflicting pain on their neighbor. And you know you're doing it. You know you're doing it with your look. Me, I personally try to avoid eye contact. I don't care what people think of me. You're not bringing me down because you look at me like I'm something less than you are. There's a lot of racism and bigotry in El Paso, Texas. And fortunately, I look like a white person. And I said fortunately. I wouldn't want to look like a brown person. I mean, I know there's good people. I know there's good people. But in El Paso, Texas, the majority of brown people really do have a very bad attitude. They've been taught their whole lives that because they are brown, life is stacked against them. And the man is out to get them. And the employer doesn't give them what they should give them. You're lucky to have a job. You should be on your knees thanking God that you have a job and you're earning money and you're able to feed yourself. But there's a spirit of lack of gratitude. You know, there's a spirit of gratitude, being grateful for what you have. You may want more. You may have ambition. But you should still be grateful for what you have, for the home that you have, the vehicle that you drive, even the employment you have. The practice in the modern world is to laugh at employers, to ridicule employers. Now, I've worked for people, and some people do need to be criticized. But you move on. You know, if you're someplace in people's face, the worst part about it is that people actually want to physically assault me. Not lately. The first year of Donald Trump, I had to pull out pepper spray to stop a dumb young Mexican man twice, thinking that they needed to show me how much they hate white Americans. And I'm like, okay, I was born in Mexico to 100% Mexican parents. And again, even as a Christian, I'm going to say this. I do not fly the Hispanic flag. I don't salute the Hispanic flag. When you honestly believe that you're better than somebody else because of your last name, the color of your skin, you're a human being. We're all human beings. And we're all subject to the law of God. You're not special. I think the only people that biblically God calls special are the children of Israel. And it's not for the color of the skin. From what I read from the Bible, I mean, it isn't. Well, no, it is. If you read the Bible, God is very clear of why He's chosen to bless the children of Israel, and that's because of the close relationship that the Israelites had with Him throughout history. People forget that the children of Israel came from somewhere. There was a time that there was no Israel, you know, and throughout that history, the people group who have shown sincere, honest, open love, where they want to be part of God's life, are the children of Israel, and of course the descendants that led to children of Israel. So the good news is that you and I can open our hearts and sincerely be part of God's life. And He will spend time with us. He will bless us with everything that comes from having God in our life. See, what people don't realize is that is where it's all at. That's where everything starts. Don't talk to me about science. I have a minor in science. I struggled through the College of Science. Barely got the passing grade on most of my science courses, but I understand the biology. I understand the genetics. You know, I know the 4 sugars of the genetic code and the pairings, and you know, not an expert in the field, but I know enough that when they start to talk about this and that and how this is related to that, it's obvious to me that they're not making their case. That all they're doing is supposing, you know. It literally is no more than looking at a flower and saying, well, I think this flower came from crystals. There's no scientific laboratory experiment that you could produce that could prove that flowers came from crystals. And then we all know that flowers don't come from crystals. That's why I use that example. So when I'm talking about God, and some people's automatic reaction is, oh, you're a fool to believe in something science has disproved. Science hasn't disproved God, and right now the way it looks, because I do pay attention, right now the way it looks is science is actually helping to prove God. I was just listening to, I forget the guy's name. I listen to him now and then. I'm not a follower of that person. In fact, half the time I don't even know what he's doing. But he's talking about the cycles of the moon and the day, and how God gave this information to the Israelites to be able to manage the growth and harvest cycle, because you need food. And then, of course, what people ultimately do is they tend to start worshiping those things. And that's what, and when you look at it, well, now we know why there's people who worship the moon and worship the sun, worship the stars, the constellations,